Hi there, everybody. This is Ralph Greenwood with the Columbus-Chicago Main Line and N-Scale, and I just got back from the lumber yard. Got me some more wood. I kind of went over budget a little bit, but I kind of gave myself some wiggle room. So, good story. Getting ready to do the shelves done. Get the shelves done in the closet. You guys seen the closet across the hall that I was working on. So I thought I'd just take a little break here. And I want to do a shout out. I want to do a shout out to Joe Desmond. And Joe Desmond, his channel is the Central Jersey Conrail and N-Scale. And I've been following Joe's channel for quite a while. I was watching it when he was building bench work. I think he was doing like one of the peninsulas on his unit, on his layout when I came across it, and I watched a few of his videos that he did, and I said to myself, hey, that's going to be something. And I was right. Joe's most recent video was construction of the SA Junction on the Sayerhurst Secondary. This is a place where I believe he has this is the bigger helix. He has a mini helix, and this is the bigger helix. And it had a reversing section that was below, and when he gets the helix done, it's all covered. And he uses security cameras so you can watch the operations. And in the last video, construction of the of the SA Junction, excuse me, he was finishing up the control panel. And doing that, and he did some demos on how the trains will run through there, and how the block indicators, the block sensors show when the section of track is occupied, and it's very interesting, very interesting. Joe has done a lot of wiring, a lot of electronics, more electronics than I won't have. I'm going to have some, but nowhere close to what he's got. And Joe, I've noticed that he's very he is very strict about attention to details, especially when it comes to the rules that the railroad has to operate by, the Conrail rules and like that. And he's very, very intense on making that as real as possible. As you don't do something without having the paperwork. You got to have the paperwork done. So, okay. So, you know, if you're interested in a layout, having a lot of electronics and doing a lot of wiring, you want to look at Joe's channel. And Joe also has a Facebook page. Joe just recently subbed up to me, but that was because Joe's been kind of busy, and so have I. And Joe kind of puts some stuff on Facebook, and then he'll do stuff on YouTube. He does one thing, and he kind of gets on one channel, and then gets on another. So, but and that's for that. And hey, give him a thumbs up and sub up. Hey. Me and Joe have talked a lot about Conrail and Penn Central, because now I don't think he's old enough to remember the PC. I think that he had some older people that talked to him, some people that worked for the railroad that told him a lot, because he was telling me stuff about the Penn Central back there in Jersey. And I was talking to him. I was telling him about I lived right like 2 blocks from the Columbus-Chicago Main Line, which I'm modeling, And, you know, we talked about that stuff a lot. And that's all I'm going to say, but yeah. But I want to, and also I have a slideshow here, and Joe, I want to make sure you watch this, because there's Penn Central engines on here, nothing but. And I think that some of these locations of these photos are close to where you're doing yours. I think some of them are in Jersey. Okay, now on to my slideshow. I recently bought a thumb drive which had 321 photos on it, taken by a photographer named Carl Munck. Carl has a copyright on these photos. He sold them to me. They're beautiful. There's a few of them that are kind of grainy, like in the distance, you know, but a lot of them are very crisp and clean. And when you look at stuff like this, you want to remember that these pictures were taken back in the 60s and 70s. Cameras back then did not have computers on them, so you had to have, you know, skill. You had to have skills to make a photo come out looking like what these look like. And my hat goes off to Carl Munck. And I hope you enjoy the slideshow. So we'll get on with it. And this is Ralph Greenwood from Columbus, Chicago Main Line. Have a good day.